Welcome to the show, it's the Real Estate Rat Pack. Talking Houston homes, yeah, we're bringing the facts. From the Heights to Katy, Sugarland too. If it's hot in real estate, we're talking it through. We've got trends, we've got taste. Where to buy, where to live, where to fill up your plate. It's the Real Estate Rat Pack, rolling in style. Houston's own vibe with that big city smile. So grab your coffee, turn that dial. The pack's in the house, let's make it worthwhile.
Homes, food, fun, you already know. It's the Real Estate Rat Pack Radio Show.
So good morning, Texas. We were a little off cue on that one. That's to work on that.
Yeah, so much fun for that spontaneity.
Yeah, that was good.
Hey, first and foremost, welcome back,
Yeah,
Rob.
welcome. Yeah, we're back.
We are back. And for those who don't know, we were on air for a little over 11 years. Took a 2.5 year, about a 2 year hiatus.
October but for 2 years we were missing in action.
That was correct. Took a little MIA to rejoin, to regroup, to reevaluate, and to make some new intro music.
Got to a better station.
Then we got to a lot better station. That is correct.
Big footprint out there.
That is correct. But more importantly is we're back. We're back, and so today's show is all about being back. We've got some great friends of the show. We have, obviously, Bill Knapik with Real Estate Matters.
Absolutely.
And then we have Michael Roddy. He's our third Rat Pack member, has been forever.
And forever sous chef when we do our breakfast and things like that. So.
And then we have, obviously, you, Rob, the godfather of real estate. And that's just because he is experienced, not old.
I'm seasoned.
You're seasoned. That is correct.
I've been coached to not say I'm old.
Yeah, that is correct. I've told you that for a long time.
So what I thought we'd do is introduce ourselves to our new audience. And
okay.
I'll start off, and I got the name Godfather. I didn't name myself the Godfather. It was our friend Bobby Bryant. I was speaking to a group of realtors, and he introduced me as the Godfather of real estate, and it kind of stuck. So anyway, so I've 46 years in the business. I'm a broker. I've been a home builder. I've been a developer. Do brokerage. Done a lot of stuff in there. Your past chairman for the Houston Association of Realtors, regional vice president for Texas Realtors, director for National Association of Realtors, and a bunch of other stuff that I've done voluntarily. So I just kind of want to know what we have, and I do want to invite people when they have questions about mortgages and or that to contact us, and I'll let you give the new email address out to them so they can, if they want to have a question. We can't do it because we're not live this time, but we can do it when we come back. So
absolutely. You know, my name's Chris Kelso. For those who don't know, I've been in the business going on 25 years now. It's hard to believe. Got in the business way back in 2000 into 2000.
I had to like 46.
I know, 46 for you, 25 for me. And you actually named me the Maestro of Mortgage.
Yes,
just
I did.
Because, you know, one of the things I tell to everybody, my passions have always been the same. My passions are always about what can we do to help an individual who is either owning a home, tighten up that home ownership to get a better rate. Individuals who want to be home owners, what can I do to get them into their new home? What can we do to build a better process and, more importantly, a better community? Because communities are where it's at. And I tell everybody all the time is when you build communities in any city in this nation, it's going to allow your kids to grow up, go to school, education, food, eateries, everything sort of surrounds itself by real estate. And so we want to be the company that you go to when you're like, man, I want to get a mortgage. I want to go with the best out there. You give one of us a call, one of my teammates a call.
And so Mr. Michael Roddy is one of our guests and a longtime friend of ours. And tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Well, been in residential real estate for 24 years and been with the same company and same broker for the last 20 years. And I was just going to say, I was looking out the window here, and it kind of brought back memories when we used to look over greater downtown Sharpstown. Now we're looking over the Galleria area.
And all the traffic.
Yes, all the traffic. But what a wonderful view and wonderful to be up in the tower and wonderful to be back on the radio. So thank you for inviting me up here for this very first show. You were asking a little bit about me. Been in residential real estate, like I said, for 24 years and just absolutely love the industry and served on several committees with you over the years and continue to serve on committees with HAR and give back to the community and to our fellow realtors.
And just because I, always like to take initialism and explain what they are, that, of course, is the Houston Association of Realtors.
Yep, that is
just
correct.
In case you don't know. So anytime you use an acronym, please explain what it means, because I was watching it on Facebook the other day, and everybody's using all these 3 letters, which are really are initialisms. And I'm like, we don't know what that is. What? Explain that. But here's some of the topics I would like to hit in our life of the show is things. We're going to get somebody on, Bill Baldwin, about flooding. It's a huge issue. There's some stuff going on the pier. It's elevated. A big word right now is affordability.
Yes.
And we're going to have to look at that. And I know there's some people out there doing alternative building methods out there.
Yep.
We had somebody that was 3D printing a house over in that Spring Branch area. Also, taxes. One of the things that we got pushed through was the homestead's been raised to $140,000 for your primary residence. So, yay for us, right?
Yeah.
Politics. We are going to have politicians on, but is this going to be a no bash zone? We are not going to have that. We're going to come in and talk about the facts and how politics impacts real estate.
Yep.
It doesn't.
Which it does every day.
Yeah. When we talk about Texas Real Estate Political Action Committee, we're talking about if you're not at the table,
you're on
the menu. So we're going to have people come in and bring in tips about home ownership and things of that nature.
A little bit of everybody.
I think we'll have Ask Christopher Rob questions and have them email them in to us so we have them ahead of time. And things like down payment assistance, we haven't talked much about that in the past, so I'd like to talk about that. Like I said, not necessarily on this show,
but on shows coming up.
So I'm trying to look at the future.
Well,
so
for
many
those
topics,
who don't know, our show is always about our guest, right? So at the end of the day, one of the things you're going to have, if you are a guest and want to be on the show, or you are a guest and have been on the show, it's always about you. We want to highlight what's going on around Houston, what's going on in Houston, and more importantly is how is that impacting real estate. And so, with that being said, we're looking forward to making sure that we just have a fun show. We're going to laugh a lot. We're going to tell a lot of jokes, a lot of blah, 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 and tundre sometimes, usually by me.
And Michael Roddy is the king of the dad jokes. Just letting you know right
and
now.
Michael Roddy has some good dad jokes out there. I was told some good dad jokes, by the way, the other day, Roddy, and I just can't say them on air, but they were actually really, really funny. And I'll see if I can remember one from the other night. But as we mentioned right there, it's going to be a good, fun show. We're going to be having a good time. We're going to be having our great friend, Bill Knapik, who we're going to come in the next segment right here, have him introduce himself as well. He is on a show here on this exact same station.
The same station.
The exact same station.
Same studio.
That is correct. And so we're going to have a good time. And more importantly is if you are looking at buying, selling, or getting into the market, we want to hear from you. We're going to take our first break, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's the real estate rat pack rolling in style. Houston's own vibe with that big city smile. Ooh, yeah.
And we're back.
Having a good time.
We're going to be saying that a lot today.
We are going to be saying that a lot today.
We're back.
We didn't have a really good chance to introduce Bill Knapik. Bill Knapik is one of our great guests, and more importantly, he has a show here called Real Estate Matters. Bill, welcome and introduce yourself to all the audience.
It's awesome to be here with you guys. I'm honored. Thank you for inviting me. The Real Estate Rat Pack has been a part of Houston radio history for years. You're back. I don't know what you did for those 2.5 years, but I think you're energized. It's going to be super fun. Me, yes, I do have a show. As I develop business for Stewart Title here for a little over 12 years now, one of the things I do it in a unique way, as we have a show at Stewart Title called Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, and we're on about 11 years now, and we have, like yourself, we're on every Sunday, though, from 5 to 6. In fact, you guys are going to be coming up as guests here in a week or so, and we're on from 5 to 6 Sunday afternoon. So just like your time, it's a super drive time, and we talk to realtors, we have fun and all sorts of things, and I just love talking on the radio to interesting people like you do, and other than me, the three of the people in the room are so interesting and so excited about real estate.
I always tell everybody is Bill and I met a long time ago, right? And so funny story about how Bill got on the radio, and it's a true story. And Bill,
I remember those 8 minutes. It was 8 minutes of pivotal
right?
minutes.
So I was inside a real estate office, and one of our loan officers called me up and said, "Hey, do you have a space one day? There's this guy Bill who works for a home warranty company. He'd love to be on air." right? And that was in the Galleria area. And so,
just right
around the corner from here.
Yep.
That is correct. And
Exactly.
so we ended up getting Bill on the show. He loved it, did a great job. And then after that, there was another show with Price. And
The Price of Business.
The Price of Business. And so I brought him on that show. And then he asked us, he said, would you guys mind start guest hosting? And Bill got the bug at that point, right? So then Bill was a sponsor of our Real Estate Rat Pack radio show with his prior company, and he got into hosting The Price of Business. And, lo and behold, how many episodes later are you at right now?
I don't know. But since then, yes, other than those shows, Chris, I did a show, Successful Living, with Bill Knapik.
Yep, you did.
Did one called The Single Life with Robin and Bill, or Bill and Robin, I forget. The Wow Factor show. So many great things. But just going back, it was so pivotal. The power of a sales call. We all here make sales calls in one way or another. But you're talking about the person that said, hey, this guy wants to be on the radio.
Right.
I remember her name, but I'm not going to mention it because she was so nice to me. In fact,
Yes.
Chris, I think she had a crush on me.
She might have.
Which
Very
is
nice
why,
lady, by the way.
very
Yes.
nice, which is why she called you, and I was just so thrilled. And forever, if you're out there listening, you know who you are.
Yes.
Thank you, because that changed my life in the last 12 years.
Yeah, it's amazing because it's something so small like that. And I'll never forget when I met Bill and we sat down, he's like, one of my, and I don't want to use it as a bucket list item, but it was, you said, one of my items I want to do, I want to be on air. I would love to host a radio show, right? And lo and behold, look at you 10 years, 11 years later, you've had multiples, you're hosting them, and it's changed the trajectory of your past 10 years. So
It absolutely has, because as a young child growing up, in my area, Johnny Carson. Remember Johnny Carson?
Of course I
yeah.
do.
Even going back way before that, Merv Griffin, Tom Snyder, any kind of interview show that I watched.
How about Jack Parr? That's before Carson.
I remember Jack Parr. But the interview shows, I would watch those shows on TV, listen on the radio, and I'd be saying, man, they have the greatest job because they get to talk to people.
Right.
And all these people that we're talking about that interview and are on the radio are all curious like me. And I just thought that would be the greatest job in the world. And thank you, Chris, for allowing me to get on the show, because it did trigger something, as life does for so many people. Sometimes it's that one moment, you leave the house, you meet the right person, your life changes forever.
And one of the things Rob and I have always been on a kick on is the Be Nice tour. We talk about this all the time,
Be
right,
kind
Rob?
or be nice. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
It costs nothing to be nice. It costs zero to
It
be nice.
costs a
In
lot
fact,
to not be nice, actually.
In fact, it costs you more
They-
effort to
they-
not be nice. That is correct, than to be nice. And so, one of the things I tell everybody all the time is, do me a favor. If you're listening right now, call up somebody and say, I love you. Call up somebody and say, thank you. Do a pay it forward. If you drive by a Starbucks, we got one right around the corner over here. Pay it forward. Buy somebody a Starbucks. Be nice today. Like do something you wouldn't normally do. It will change the trajectory of your life, but more importantly, you can impact the life of somebody else that you have no idea. And we talk about this all the time. We've impacted so many lives over the years through our Be Kind and our Be Nice tour. Is just do the right thing all the time and be nice.
Yeah, well, I didn't mention, but mainly what I do now is continuing education instructions for
Right.
agents, and we touch probably 10 to 12,000 every. I
Every
introduce every class. There's two things I want from you. I want you to be more professional. I want you to be kind to each other, because somehow or another, there's something in the atmosphere. And I think COVID was instrumental in precipitating some of this frustration and anger. But it just seems it's so much easier. And I even wrote an article for Houston Realtor Magazine and I called it hand-to-hand realty.
Right.
Because that's what it feels like, and it shouldn't feel like that.
Right. It shouldn't. I mean, if you're nice and you're kind to somebody, it goes so far. It's so much better. We had a Friendsgiving at the office, a couple weeks ago, and
I
one of
must
the
have
things,
got that invitation.
Yeah, you're always invited. I think you were teaching though that day. I think 'cause I was in the class with you. I think we were up in one of our KW offices, and it was interesting though. I went downstairs and I told the individuals, because we're in a guard gated area, so I told the security guards and I told some of our neighbors, and we had tons of food left over, right? Well, the next day, Sam, who's downstairs in security, he's like, Chris, he goes, thank you very much. He goes, I had the best cheesecake from upstairs. He goes, it absolutely changed. Like yesterday, I was in a terrible mood and I had that piece of cheesecake and it was like heaven. and it changed my attitude for the rest of the day. And that's sort of what I'm getting at is you never know what little thing you can do for somebody that will change your life.
Well, the thing I always illustrate is like, sometimes people might come across surly but you don't know what's going on in their life. So be patient with them because they may have just gotten a diagnosis for cancer or they're relative. You don't know
Right.
what they just went through. And so be kind. But if they're still mean, then you be kinder.
Well, funny, Rob, because you and I talk about this as well. How many times there's a great show from Key and Peele in which he's sending a text, right? And so he's like, "Hey, what are you up to?" And the other guy's like, "What do you mean what I'm up to? I'm sitting here waiting for you to call me." And he's like, "Oh my gosh, you're being so crazy." So the way you read a text is very similar to the way you read an email. It's how you feel. It's not how the other person feels at that time, right?
That's why I do a little emoji on there. You have that little smiley face after you send the text.
Exactly. And so you have to understand is that's part of our problem is technology is, and I love technology, trust me. For all those listening, there's AI that I get involved with. In fact, listen to this show. You'll see AI is involved with it. Trust me on that. But if you use technology the right way, right, you also have to understand how to personalize it so individuals receive it the way it's intended to be done. And I think that's part of the problem sometimes. I tell this all the time is AI, for example, is here to stay, right? AI is not going anywhere, right? But the difference is going to be in the market. It's not between somebody who uses AI, who doesn't agree with AI. Individuals in real estate, in lending, in any market you're in, those who adopt AI better are going to thrive. Those who refuse to adopt it are going to die.
It's the same thing with
that's just the reality.
with computers and stuff like that. We'd actually back in the 80s, we were saying people who didn't know how to operate a computer would be considered the same as somebody who was illiterate previously.
Right.
And so I think when you go to AI, it's going to be the same thing. So either you're not going to get around it, embrace it and understand it. Although some of the reels I see on Facebook is like, that's not real.
But they're hilarious. But they are hilarious. But, I would say also learn how to inject the human element into technology today, right? So we talk about that. Learn how to inject the human element into technology. It's extremely important to know how to operate it, but also know who you're speaking with. Know that when you're calling me, yes, I use AI on the back end, but when you're speaking with me, you're speaking with me. When you're speaking with my teammates, you're speaking with my teammates, right? And so it's how you're implementing it, but also how you customizing it and personalizing
it. Use it as a tool. That's not as a replacement. And that's why I think a lot of people's fear is, I'm going to be replaced by AI. But I promise you, I've got on there where I'm doing that little message because I have an issue.
Right.
And I'm getting an AI response back. I said, if this is AI, please give me a live person because I can tell AI from a live person.
No, the AI with you is probably, dang, Rob again. Man, what can I get him to get off his phone?
I very seldom do it.
AI is pretty smart nowadays. Oh my gosh, Roddy again. No, but that's sort of the way it goes. We are coming up against another break here pretty soon. When we come back, we're going to talk about some things that people can do to implement right now during the holidays to have a good time for 2026. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Where to buy, where to live, where to fill up your plate. It's the real estate rat pack rolling in style.
We're back. I can't hear the music. I can't hear the bump music, so I can't. So I was like, "We're ready."
Yes, absolutely. So one of the things we want to talk about this segment is really a little bit about getting ready for the holidays in the market and what's going on. I think it's important. We talk about real estate's always moving, right? A couple things to look at is we are sitting in one of the hottest real estate markets in the nation. Houston, Texas does more business than 38 states combined. Yes, that's how much business is done out here, right?
From Texas A&M.
That is correct. But yet sometimes people still say is now a good time to buy or sell.
Yes.
Right? And so the good thing is we have a great agent here that I can ask that question to. Is now a good time, Mr. Michael Roddy, to buy or sell a home?
Absolutely. You knew what the answer was going to be ahead of time. But it absolutely is. I think that there's been a lot of uncertainty in the market in 2025, even though 2025 has turned out to be a very good year.
Oh, yes.
So I've been very pleased with it, and I think we're going to see an even better 2026. And I'm talking to the agent friends out there right now. And it is funny that you talk to some agents and they say, 2025, I'll be glad when we're out of 2025. It was a good year for me and a good year for others. You speak to other agents and they say, I've had one of the best years that I've had in a long time. And I do think 2026 is going to be even better. And the reason that I'm saying that is that, we've seen a slight trickle down in interest rates. You know this better than any of us here. And I think that when the administration gets the new Fed chairman in, and just the way that you're seeing the markets changing and the markets moving with companies that are coming in, one of the things that surprised me is how many large companies have been relocating their employees here to Houston this year. And I think that's going to continue into 2026 and actually increase. So I think confidence in the market. I think when we get the new Fed chair in, we probably will see rates go down a little bit more. Right. Don't anticipate that they're ever going to go down to what they were at 2%, 2.5%, or 3%.
Not going to happen.
But we will see a reduction, which I think is going to give confidence back to the market and make these homes that they were not able to afford, make them affordable again for a lot of people. Now, you might be thinking as well that, well, if the interest rates go down, what's going to happen to the price of real estate? More than likely, it's going to go up. We are still at a lower inventory than what we have been historically.
Right.
So I do think that as interest rates go down and offers a bigger base to people that are able to afford homes, you might start seeing an increase in the prices of what is available. Now, the good thing in Houston is that we've got a lot of new construction that is going to be coming on the market in 2026, and I think that's going to be huge for us. Anyone looking to move into a new home, a new community, brand new construction, it's going to be a fantastic year for them.
Well, we were at a big meeting at Zonda. Zonda sort of manages and looks at all the data associated with new home builders, right? And, it's been very interesting. Houston is still one of the great markets.
We
Dallas,
got lots of land.
We have lots of land, a lot of permits that are being put out there. We still actually, nationwide, we're still about 3 million homes under what we need to do to catch up to demand. And that's nationwide, not Houston, right? Now, to address the interest rate side of things, I think it's interesting. I was just right now this week with some individuals who were talking about interest rates and how they're impacting, right? And one of the biggest things I'm going to tell everybody is the average rate I'm quoting today is in the 5s. Right, the average. It could be a government loan in your lower 5s, or it could be a conventional loan in your upper 5s. It could be a jumbo loan, maybe in your very low 6s, upper 5s. But the average rate right now is still in the 5s. And yet, when you look at the national news says, well, today's national news is still 6.52%. Right. The reality is I'm gonna beg everybody out there, turn off not this show. But turn off your national news, right? Turn off your national news and listen to local resources in your local market. I mean, the reality is individuals today are getting great rates. And what do I think is a balanced market rate-wise? I just had this conversation. A balanced market rate-wise is rates in the 5s. That is a balanced market, right? We as a mortgage industry and as a community, I'd say as real estate, we ruined our industry for 2 years in 2020 and 2021.
Right.
It was ridiculous to get rates down in the 2s and 3s because it caused a massive acceleration on home prices on the other side, right? So we did what we would normally do acceleration-wise over 10 years. We did it in 2 years, right? But at the end of the day, though, if we look at where we stand right now, rates in the 5s is a very good market. If it does go down further next year, okay, it's going to go to the lower 5s. I would challenge everybody. People who are buying homes and making money in this market, don't wait on rates. You know what they buy it on? They buy it on opportunities. Am I have an opportunity to buy? Do I have a need to live in a home? Am I moving up or moving down? Am I buying an investment property for rental properties that are coming in town? Am I buying it for my lifestyle change? That is why people buy and sell homes. 90% of them is for lifestyle, right? And I would venture to say this probably even higher because the investors buying a home for a lifestyle, because what are they doing? They're trying to get more rentals so they can improve their lifestyle.
Exactly.
Right?
Well, just give you an overview of what the market is right now. We have a 5.4 month supply of homes, which is a balanced market.
Yep.
5 to 6 months is a good balance. When we were in COVID and interest rates were ridiculously low, we had 1.3 months. So guess what? House prices went up. So every time you have a lower rate, you're going to have a higher demand. Don't wait.
Right.
because the house prices are going to go up, and we have not seen a lot of escalation in prices this year. It's been steady and it's been up, unlike Austin, which is suffering.
Right. Yeah, Austin killed itself because of the amount. I would say the good thing that Houston's always had is a balancing effect, right? We have taxes that are a little on the higher side compared to the nation right there. But we've always had really good employment. We've always underbuilt when it comes to new home builders. We've always maintained our inventory levels at that 5 to 6 month of inventory level right there. The one thing that is happening, I asked Roddy this, is one of the things that I'm personally seeing is the higher priced homes right now tend to be moving a lot better than the lower price homes. And what I mean by that is, to me, a higher priced home, because the new loan amount limits just went into place, $829,000, $827,000. So let's use $850,000. $850,000 is considered more of a luxury market. $300,000 is considered more of the entry level homes nowadays, believe it or not. Because when I got into the business, $70,000 was an entry level home. And so you sort of look at that. What are you seeing in regards to the market right there, Marty?
Exactly as you mentioned. Anything that I would even say 750 and above tends to move quicker than other homes are. The homes that would be considered upper tier luxury, they are still moving. And what I mean by that is anything over about 1.5 million.
Right.
They are moving quickly and continue to do so. So I agree with you that the market itself is doing a little bit of a shift, but that upper tier market is doing quite well.
Now, you belong to that luxury home group.
Correct.
What's their opinion? I know you all collectively speak about it. So what was
We
their...
do.
Okay.
And same thing, when you speak with them, everyone there at our last meeting was just talking about how that upper tier market is doing extremely well. Now, there's other factors. There's a lot of variables that are there, but overall, it's a very good market. Bill, you wanted to...
Well, when you were talking earlier about new home construction,
yes,
are there certain parts or which parts of town are you seeing this new home construction? Because we think about Houston, it's growing massively in every direction.
It is.
But you did bring up the new home. Where are the new homes at? Any one spot or...
I would say right now, two areas that seem to, Katy, of course, always remains to be an outstanding market, but you're seeing Cypress and areas just outside of Cypress that is continuing to be and growing in that market, and the new construction that is going on in Cypress, in other counties like Waller County, just tremendous. And even north of Conroe, there's some new construction going on up there.
Willis, Grand Central Station. And,
the other thing, Michael, I remember now. I listened to almost every Rat Pack show back in the beginning, right? And you took your break. That said, but one of the things I remember about Michael, see, I retain stuff. At least I try. He was known for his comparative market analysis. Am I right?
Yes.
Correct.
We're actually coming up.
Come on now. Are you still running the comparative market analysis in that golden way that you do?
Yes. Still running the comparative market analysis. Now, one thing that I have found lately, and I just talked with a longtime client that actually had me list and sell his mom's townhome. And that one went very quickly as well. But one of the things that he did listen to my market analysis numbers, but he also took those and ran them through, you were talking about AI earlier. He ran them through ChatGPT. And it was funny that it took me 2 hours to do the analysis. He ran it through there and came up with a very similar number, but did it in about 2 minutes instead of 2 hours.
You might be replacing yourself.
And that's okay. That's okay.
So. No, I don't think that would be a replacing. Michael, for all those who want to reach you, how do they do so?
They can reach me on my cell phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Doesn't mean I'm going to pick up 24 hours a day. But no, reach me on my cell phone, 832-541-4942.
One more time.
832-541-4942.
If you're in the market, definitely give Michael a call, one of the best in the business. For all those listening, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's the real estate Rat Pack, rolling in style. Houston's own vibe with that big city smile.
And we're back.
Oh, we're getting better at that.
Getting really good, right?
Well, I kept thinking I'm going to hear the end of that, the little bump music, but obviously that's not going to happen. So anyway, I would not depend on Chat GPT because that's just we were talking about this on the break, because it might end up being like a Zestimate. It's taking just general data because there's so many things that impact what a house sells for, and we don't give an opinion of value. We give an opinion of what it's going to sell for. There's a huge difference.
Right.
And so always get with a professional realtor.
I agree. I think one of the things our show's always been really good about is, if you're looking for a mortgage, we have it. If you're looking for a realtor, we have it. If you're looking for a good title company, like Bill Knapik over here.
Well, and that's one of the things I want to remind people that you guys, Chris and Rob, are going to be on our show, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, heard 5 to 6 every Sunday on AM 950 KPRC. You're coming up in a couple weeks. In fact, it'll be our Christmas show, probably. We might even rerun it twice. But that said, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Also, we're an international company, by the way. A lot of people don't know.
Oh, they're huge.
We started 130 plus years ago, but right here in Houston, in the Houston area, in this broadcast center that we radiate from, we have about 17 offices, great business development people. So they're there to serve escrow officers with a lot of experience with all sorts of transactions, but the only title company with a radio show. Can you imagine? I mean, it's just not fair to others, but that's okay. But we're doing the best we can. No, we're there to help, but also to bring forth great information.
Some great people working for you because they keep me busy.
Yes.
Well, that's right.
Becky Bohannon out of out there in the Tomball area and stuff like that.
That's right.
One of the number one offices in the area, and I do. I don't know how many classes I do for her. I'm doing one for Juliana next week.
Yep.
Over there, Kirby Grove location on the 15th floor, overlooking the great skyline.
Overlooking that little park over there.
Oh, it's awesome! Yeah. So no, the part, and that's one of the things, not just with us here today, but what happens in the real estate community here in Houston. It's a big town, but it's a little town.
Oh yeah.
There's so many connections and so much community and friendship that just happens to be a part of being in the real estate world.
Well, I love you said that. I was literally at an event this week, and everyone walked up, Rob, this is pretty cool, and they're like, Chris, it's great to see you. You and Rob do a great job on your classes. And so we touch a lot of people through
about
that
12,000
training
a
and
year.
education.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of it right there, and so that's always really good. And so the one thing we tell everybody, we're training a lot of people to be the best in their respective professions, and it's important to know that every day. There's a lot of people who do the business, but there's a lot less people who actually enjoy and thrive in helping others. And that's one of the things we bring on the show.
Some that probably should redirect their career path.
And some already have.
And some already have. Exactly. The market redirects the career path for them. That is correct.
Yeah, I understand Buc-ee's pays $20 an hour, so if you're listening and you're not happy
Buc-ee's
with
has
real
some
estate,
great opportunities.
they have some great opportunities.
I just want to be one of their managers. But that said, also, people can see the show at Radio Bill on the YouTube channel. So when you're on, they could see you on Radio Bill. All the shows are archived there, and of course, people can give me a call if they want to.
That is correct. And you also go back and look at everything on iHeartRadio. You can go back to iHeartRadio. You see the podcast. You can actually
with your show too.
That is correct. See this show. You'll be able to see everything from that perspective. So you're not limited to just Saturday mornings at 8:00. If you missed us this morning, or you want to share it across the platform, you can actually go to iHeartRadio, have them look up Real Estate Rat Pack or Real Estate Matters, one of the two, and you can actually listen to old shows.
I get Avelina to set up a YouTube.
Right
for us.
we definitely have to do that, so our last segment right here, and one of the things I want to talk about, and I think is very important as well, is just staying engaged in the market. I think a lot of things, I speak with people all the time. I don't care who it is, where it is, with individuals. But, everyone's always asking, what are rates going to do? And is next year going to be better than this year? And I think we addressed a lot of that. But, if you're in the market and you think that you are qualified for home ownership, a couple things I think that we do, which is really cool, and I think everyone has to understand this, is we only do a soft pull when we initially take your loan application. We do a soft pull.
Explain what that means.
And a soft pull means it's not going to take a hit upon your credit. So I can take a look at your file. I can take a look at what you might qualify for. If I I need to give you suggestions to improve your lifestyle or improve your credit moving forward, we can do so. The other thing is that there's a lot of programs and products out there for first-time home buyers. For our veterans, a VA loan is the absolute best loan you can possibly do. It's a great time if you were a veteran and you financed a home under a VA loan a couple of years ago. The VA IRRL, which is the interest rate reduction refinance loan, is phenomenal to get back into today.
No appraisal.
Yes, no appraisal, no income verification. Absolutely phenomenal. On the jumbo side of things, which is loan amount limits above that 827 we talked about right there. And the loan amount limit just went up, by the way, for that. Yeah, on the conventional side of things, and FHA is going to follow suit. But great. Now, one of the things that did take place, I think is very important. Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae came out and said they are taking away credit score requirements. Okay. Now, here's what's interesting about that. Tori in my office, Tori Jacoby, just got an approval at a 590. Okay.
What could possibly go wrong?
Well, here's the thing, though. It's the story that goes around that, right? Because sometimes credit, and I've always said this, and we've had this on the show, we're going to talk about how many errors are there on a credit report.
But everybody has something on their credit report.
Everyone has somebody on their credit report that's wrong, right?
I actually went and had somebody work on mine, and it went to like an 817.
Right. And so the reality is that what we're trying to do is figure ways to get people who should and could qualify for a home but might have had a situation happen, right? And COVID probably taught us a lot about that. I mean, how many people all of a sudden thought they were jobless for, 3 months, and all of a sudden the market accelerated, right? And so that's one of the things they've done. We at Rate, being the largest retail lender in the nation, we now don't have those credit score requirements. So also on a lot of our even government loans, we go down to 500. So I can get a 500, a 530, a 590.
I've never seen a 500 close.
Yes. Yeah. Closing one right now on a 530. On a veteran.
Oh my!
So there's a lot of opportunities out there.
Well,
so
the veteran VA does not have a FICO score requirement.
No FICO score requirements.
It's underlying lender, so everyone knows how VA loan works. That the VA guarantees the top 20-25% of the loan, which makes it less of a risk to the lender.
Oh yeah,
so
absolutely.
they are not the lender.
Yeah, no, they're not the lender. So the lenders are the lender, right? I mean, so I'm going to be the servicer on those. But and then on your jumbo side, the jumbo market's still a very good market out there. We securitize a lot of our jumbo products. We bring them to market, and what that means is instead of me having to go to the market and say, hey, let me see what products are out there, I actually securitize my own products. So I underwrite, I create the guidelines, I securitize them, and I sell them off in the mortgage-backed securities market. So for all those that are listening right now, if you're not engaged in the market, whether it be buying or refinancing or even an investment property through DSCR, which is a debt, basically it's a type of way to buy a home without you qualifying under your income. There are tons. It's called debt service credit ratio.
How can people get a hold of you?
Oh, you can always reach me at 713-256-9138.
One more time?
That's 713-256-9138. Or you can go to rate.com/Chris Kelso. Just rate.com/Chris Kelso. You can get a hold of me or any of my great teammates.
And I want to thank Bill Knapik for he got us connected with KPRC, so
that
we're thankful for
We've
that.
got connections, yeah.
Yeah, I've got connections. And so last thoughts as we're leaving.
Well, if someone wants to reach me, my phone number is 713-210-9767. That's 713-210-9767. Check our show out. Close with Stewart Title. We're there to help. And we're also here to help the Real Estate Rat Pack. And we'll see the guys coming up on one of the shows in a week or so.
We are looking forward to it. Roddy,
That's
how do we
going to
reach
be
you
fun.
one more time, bud?
Going to be fun. I'm sorry?
How do we reach you one more time?
832-541-4942. And you talked about dad jokes. I'll leave you with something that hopefully makes you smile. And it was, I went to a bookstore and asked the salesperson, where's the self-help section? And she said if she told me, it would defeat the purpose.
There you go.
So there you go.
I love that. Rob, how can they reach you if someone needs to reach out to you?
281-543-0527. Again,
One more time.
281-543-0527.
And if you're out there, you need great education. If you're anybody who needs to know about real estate, give the Rat Pack a call. We love you. Until next time, we are out.
Ooh, oh, oh, oh. Ooh, oh, oh, oh.
Welcome to the show, it's the Real Estate Rat Pack. Talking Houston homes, yeah, we're bringing the facts. From the Heights to Katy, Sugar Land too. If it's hot in real estate, we're talking it through. We've got trends, we've got taste. Where to buy, where to live, where to fill up your plate. It's the Real Estate Rat Pack, rolling in style. Houston that big city smile. So grab your coffee, turn that dial. The pack's in the house, let's make it worthwhile.
Home's food fun, you already know.